Oh, let's keep it there in Baltimore. They've had two very exciting seasons back to back, but they have yet to reach that AFC title. So, Coach, what's the biggest area of improvement they need to win the AFC?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about a team being improved from a 14-2 record, but you're right. It's all about getting through the playoffs and moving forward. Naturally, everything is going to come back to Lamar Jackson. I think where their focus right now is brilliant a year as he had, and it was stunningly brilliant. I think they'd like to see more of a balance. First off, throwing outside the numbers, and they've talked about that. That's where there was, if there was, an Achilles heel. That's where the incompletions came from. Where the interceptions came from. The other thing is the amount of runs versus the passes. Now, they're not going to inhibit him from running. Lamar Jackson has been brilliant. That's the hallmark of what they were able to do, is saying, look, you run as much as you need to run. But I think in their perfect world, he had 176 carries last year. He had 400 throws. They could translate maybe 50 of those, be around 450, maybe even approach 500 throws, closer to maybe 140, 150 runs. I think that's where they'd like to be. They're going to take it wherever it comes, but I think they're focused on doing more of those things, particularly for Lamar from the pocket.
Absolutely, coach. And I know, the talk coming out of Baltimore was getting more explosive, throwing the ball down the field with Lamar Jackson as well. And that's the reason why they went out and drafted Devin Duvernay in the third round out of Texas. This is a guy that's a sub 4-4 type of guy who can really attack the middle part of the field. And I think when you're talking about a young quarterback growing into what you want him to be in Lamar Jackson, this is the area where he will improve at, is throwing the ball down the field, in the middle of the field, in the slots. And you just saw James Proche right there from SMU drafted in the 6th round. So they have definitely done some things to help him get better in throwing the football. But another area I want to talk about is pass rush, coach. And when you think about in the AFC, who are you going up against? You're going up against Patrick Mahomes. You're going up against Deshaun Watson, Phillip Rivers, Big Ben Roethlisberger. All these guys, you got to have a pass rush to get them on the ground, and they was 21st in the league last year. I like the fact that they brought in Calais Campbell. I think that's going to help them inside the interior part of the defensive line. But I think they need to help Matt Judon, who had an excellent year last year, 9.5 sacks. They have no one to go opposite of him. So I expect them to address that maybe before the season starts.
Yeah, and that has been a problem for them since Terrell Suggs. So they've always been trying to find that balance, Terrell Suggs. And then obviously once T left, it was a matter of where do we get that pass rush. Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator, does a good job of dialing up the patented Raven blitzes. But you're right, that's probably one element defensively that they've yet to fill in terms of that dominant pass rusher that you now have to account for with your pass protection.